Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
Hey everybody, I'm Chris Pirillo, and this is your Geek Out for today. Well, as the title says, we're giving away a MacBook Air. And if you want that MacBook Air, all you need to do is take a look at the tweet that I've linked in this vlog's description. It's got the full details for what you need to do, and it is pretty simple. Probably the easiest way you could get a new MacBook Air today. But the giveaway will end in just a couple of days, so act now. And if you weren't paying attention, well, I feel sorry. You should have been following me on Twitter, because I was talking about this a couple of days ago. Remember that, if you were following? Well, it's not too late. Oh, fine. You want me to give away more stuff? Okay, check it out. Loot Crate. It's a service that will send you a few geeky items every month. And if you want a complimentary 6-month subscription, we'll be giving away one of those every week to one person who comments on all Locker Gnome articles for that week. There's a quick way of jumping to the Loot Crate website. If you use the coupon code LockerGnome on checkout, you can save 10% if you wanted to sign up. It's pretty cool, it's pretty geeky, and you've already seen me open my first Loot Crate. Now, on to the rest of the news. According to our stats, there are more of you using the iPhone version of our app than those of you using the Android version of our app. You could download the app with the links in the video's description. It's official. Okay, that really wasn't news. But what was news, Nokia presenting new Lumia phones today. And if you are much like one of our contributors, Candace, you are a fan of the Windows Phone series. And certainly Windows Phone 8 should be a shot in the arm for Microsoft. There haven't been too many people that I know of, personally, who have Windows Phone today. That may very well change, especially with this announcement. It looks like the Lumia 920 will be coming with a 1.5 megahertz dual Snapdragon S4 processor, a gig of RAM, and 32 gigs in storage, coming in red, yellow, white, black, or slate gray. Oh, it also has wireless charging integrated. Now that's cool. Here's my question for you. You gonna get a Windows Phone 8? And if so, what are you choosing to bypass to get a Windows Phone 8? Are you moving from Android or iOS? If either one of them. Kindle Fire 2? Yes, please. Keep your iPad. Now, I'm not saying this necessarily. I did buy a Kindle Fire first generation, wasn't thrilled with it, but I saw the promise in what Amazon was doing, bringing you closer into, well, their universe. And that's exactly what makes the Kindle Fire work. So even if you look at the Kindle Fire 2 and you compare its raw specs, hardware and software, and say, well, it's not as good as the other stuff that's out there, or it's priced completely out of the range of me wanting to get it because I already have this. Okay, here's the thing. Amazon is pretty amazing in the sense that it now has hardware. It's got service, like in the sense that you can get Amazon Prime, which I do have, right? You know, I buy products through Amazon, products that Amazon doesn't own, and I do have a Prime account, so I can stream the content that Amazon brings to me, and that kind of comes along with the Prime account. Of course, I get 2-day shipping on many objects from Amazon. The bottom line is it creates a better user experience overall, beyond the hardware, beyond the software. It's about that experience, man. This is what Apple has owned for quite some time, something that Google itself is finally starting to understand with its Play universe. At least that's what they're calling it at this point. Microsoft groks the concept as well. It's nothing strange. Amazon's becoming a really big contender in this space. Windows 8 is a step in the right direction. Is it perfect? What is? You know, you saw me install, or at least try to install Windows 8 live on YouTube, one of the more popular videos in my channel now. Of course, you saw my dad try to work his way through an earlier consumer release preview edition of Windows 8 and kind of stumbling through it. You saw me using it successfully on a large resistive touchscreen, and believe me, I resisted the touchscreen. Not a big fan of that. Capacitive, yay. Resistive, not so much. But it's the best I could do. I am very much looking forward to the cornucopia of Windows 8 PCs about to be released. To me, it's going to be about that touch experience blended with the traditional keyboard mouse experience. Will the hardware stand up to what the software can do? This does remain to be seen, and certainly we should see a lot of options in the field. Once you get used to anything, right? You start treating Windows 8 for what it is, Windows 8, not Windows 7, certainly not Windows Vista, and definitely not Millennium Edition. You start to understand the nuances and what Microsoft is trying to accomplish in building a computer that just feels truly personal. And I think Microsoft will do the right thing eventually. I don't know if users are necessarily going to adopt it. That remains to be seen. I don't know. I'm just saying. We don't know what's coming yet, exactly, precisely. We don't even know how much it's going to cost. So there's a lot of questions still up in the air, but according to one of our contributors, it is a step in the right direction. Don't you agree? And even if you don't agree, that's okay. We can agree to disagree. I do not hold any ill will towards anybody who doesn't see things the way I see things. We're human. We have different opinions. It's okay. If we all thought the same, this would be a scary place. Old age or good health? Which would you prefer? The advancements of science and technology have made it easier to live longer. I don't know if I really would want to live longer if my health was poor. I think I would rather have good health because that contributes a lot to the quality of life. It's one of the reasons why I'm very conscious about what I do, in how I do it, and even what I eat and what I drink. And I know it's easy to grab a snack food or a sugary beverage and blah, 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 blah. But what am I doing? I mean, I may be enjoying it in that moment, like in my mouth, but my body's going, dude, no, can't handle it. It's going to fat. That's just not creating a life that I want. And I know that eventually one day we'll have some miracle pill that we'll be able to swallow, and I guess in some cases we're kind of getting there, to potentially extend our life. But which would you rather have? A longer life or good health? And even though I'm getting older by the day, like most of us are, I gotta say, I'd be a fan of having better health rather than a longer life if I had to choose between the two. And technology and science is going to help make that possible. Football. Sensors in helmet alert of possible brain injury. Hey, dude, isn't like football and rugby and soccer, doesn't that just, I guess, assume that there's going to be head injury because you're moving around and balls flying and people flying and hitting each other? I guess it's nice to see that technology can help those who are interested in potentially injuring themselves for the gain of a trophy or something. I'm not making fun of athletes. Okay, maybe I am a little, but only because they made fun of me in high school. You had it coming to you, man. You almost gave me brain damage. You deserve it. Now, unless you didn't deserve it, in which case I feel sorry for you if you have brain damage in any way. Of course, if you do have brain damage, you're probably not watching me, or even if you did, you wouldn't understand anything that I was saying at this point in time. The bottom line is, the further we go into the world of athletics, professional athletics, amateur athletics, and believe me, when I'm on the field, it's amateur. Seeing that technology, gadgets, gizmos, widgets, can help potentially save lives. I'm not being flippant, really. I don't think anybody deserves brain injury. Okay, maybe a few people. There's some people I remember in high school that, in fact, I think they were injured to begin with. I don't think they need to incur anything on the field to become brain injured. Technology can save lives. Even the lives of those who hate you. Prepaid credit cards for teenagers. I know, it's simple. You open an envelope and look, it's a credit card that you can then use and spend willy-nilly, and before you know it, your life is gone because you owe it to somebody else. My tip to you, when you get a credit card, or if you have one, do not spend more money than you have, okay? Because that will get you in trouble, it'll get you in debt, and you want to not be in debt. I live as debt-free as I possibly can because I just do not want to owe my life to anybody. Who would? And there are plenty of tools and resources online, applications you can download to your smartphone. We've listed a few for you to help keep your budget in check. So before you do anything else with spending money that you do not have, install an app, use a website, do some research, especially if you're a part of our younger audience. You may not have access to a credit card now, but believe you me, it could be more of a chain than it can be freedom if you do not act responsibly. Let me just give you a word of warning now. You may not remember it at the time where you're going, oh, I owe so much money to all these people. I'm trying to help, guys. We've got some advice for you. Just listen, okay? Use the technology to do your research. Let us help you. Motorola announces Droid Razr HD with 4.7-inch display. That's almost as big as that monitor. Not really, that was an exaggeration. How large are these things gonna go? My thumb can only go so far. These hands, small I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. That was an obscure Jewel reference. Apple, we didn't give the FBI any device IDs. And the blame game begins. According to some sources, the FBI says, that wasn't us. Well, they got out. One way, shape, or form. I don't know who to blame. Other than to say, dude, you just never know who's going to do what with your data. Just keep that in mind. DARPA's Cheetah robot can now outrun Usain Bolt, a robot that runs fast. Now I'm scared. FCC to start tracking mobile broadband speeds. Could they do something about making them faster? Steve Jobs has been reincarnated as a warrior philosopher, Thai group says. Interesting. And where's the science to back up your claims? At LockerGnome.net, DJ Scooby-Doo writes, if Windows 8 is already at RTM, why aren't there any commercials yet? That's a good question. I think I've seen a lot of it covered in the press, but then again, we kind of live in this world of, what's the new tech news and geeky talk on the street. I never really hear anybody talking geek on the street. It's usually normal people talking about things that they just don't understand, and it's our job to help them understand things. I don't know. I don't know where Microsoft's going to spend their money on the Windows 8. Assumedly, it's going to be a blitzkrieg in the media. I'd imagine they're going to give the Surface a big push, and that's the thing. We still haven't heard anything about pricing for Microsoft's flagship or likely flagship device or series devices, the Surface. Once they have those details, then I imagine we would start to see advertising for Windows 8. But until then, that would kind of be putting the cart before the horse. At LockerGnome.net, RogueKiller23321 writes, do your parents know how to use a computer or any technological device? They do. And here's the thing. If the device isn't easy to use, it sucks. I'm just telling you. I mean, the more difficult something is to use, it's like artificial hurdles, man. If usability was not baked into the product, I think it's a fail. I honestly do. I mean, I have no patience for substandard products. I mean, who would? Like, oh yeah, I like losing days of my life on something that should have worked out of the box. Hey, knock yourself out when you have all the time in the world. When you get older, you do not have so much time to burn. You realize that 99% of the galaxy isn't like you or me. It's fun to tinker on weekends if you have time to tinker, but who has the time? If a product gives you frustration, it sucks. Keep in mind, sucks is relative. Frustration is personal. At LockerGnome.net, Zyro writes, what do you consider heavy for portable electronics? Well, I'm a pretty lightweight guy. I suppose anything I can hold on to, if I start to feel fatigue in my arm, that's too heavy. I mean, I can hold on to an average tablet for an extended period of time. I think if you start reaching into the pound and a half territory and then it starts to get a little cumbersome, 2 pounds, way too heavy. Okay, did you guys qualify for that MacBook Air giveaway thing that we're doing in conjunction with Parallels? I don't know if you were paying attention or not. Just follow me on Twitter. We appreciate the shares. When you take our video, embed it on your website, or you share it on your social media, thank you. We appreciate when you like these videos because it lets us know that we're doing something that you appreciate. I mean, watching is great. Liking, that's like watching pro. Sharing is watching pro plus. And then, of course, if you want, comment. That's easy. You leave a comment. That's good, and it fuels things. We appreciate all those things. So if you can do all of them, thank you. We'll see you later.